विनोद ठाकुर महाशय की, नित्य लीला प्रवेश वैष्णव सावधान जगन्नाथ दास बाबाजी महाराज की, कलयुग गोस्वामी से सनातन गोस्वामी से रघुनाथ दास रघुनाथ भट्ट गोपाल भट्ट सजीव गोस्वामी वृंद की, नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की, निताई गौर सुंदर की, प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की, श्री प्रहलाद नृसिंहदेव भगवान की, श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी सुदर्शन की, श्री राधा माधव गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गोवर्धन की, श्री गुरुवायूरप्पन भगवान की, श्री वृंदावन नवदीप धाम की, श्री मथुरा द्वारका धाम की, पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की, गंगा माई कावेरी माई की, भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की, समवेत भक्त वृंद की, प्रभुपाद ट्रांसलेटर बुद्धिस्ट मिशन मैराथन प्रोग्राम की, हरिनाम संकीर्तन की, श्री राधा कृष्णा टेम्पल प्रोजेक्ट की, ऑल ग्लोरीज टू असम्बल्ड डिवोटीज, ऑल ग्लोरीज टू असम्बल्ड डिवोटीज, ऑल ग्लोरीज टू असम्बल्ड डिवोटीज, ऑल ग्लोरीज टू श्री गुरु श्री गौरांगा, ऑल ग्लोरीज टू प्रभुपाद।
हरे कृष्ण அனைவரும் பாதுகாப்பு மற்றும் நல்வாழ்வுக்காக நடைபெற்றும் ஸ்ரீ தர்ஷன் அற்றோத்சரம் அர்ச்சனையில் இன்று நமது கோவில் பக்தரும் நலன் விரும்பியுமான பிராணேஸ்வரன் பிரபு அவர்களின் தந்தை திரு வேலுமணி அவர்களின் உடல் ஆரோக்கியம் விரைவில் குணமடைய பகவான் ஸ்ரீ ஸ்ரீலா நரசிம்மதேவரிடம் நமது சிறப்பு பிரார்த்தனை அர்ப்பணிக்கின்றோம். ஓம் அஞ்ஞானாதிமிராந்தஸ்ய ஞானாஞ்சனசலாக்கயா चक्षुर्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिधि नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी वाशात्मकैकतारिणे जय श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जय नरसिंह श्री नरसिंह जय जय श्री नरसिंहदेव प्रहलादेश जयापत्मा मुखपत्मा वृंदा उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं जलन्दं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं बीजनं भद्रं मृत्युर्नमाम्यहम्। ओम नरसिंहाय नमः, ओम महासिंहाय नमः, ओम दिव्यसिंहाय नमः, ओम महाबलाय नमः, ओम उग्रसिंहाय नमः, ओम महादेवाय नमः, ओम संपदाय नमः, ओम उग्रलोचनाय नमः, ओम रौद्राय नमः, ओम सर्वद्भुताय नमः, ओम श्रीमनाय नमः, ओम योगमुदाय नमः, ओम त्रिविक्रमाय नमः, ओम हरिणे नमः, ओम कोलाहलाय नमः, ओम चक्रिणे नमः, ओम विजयाय नमः, ओम जयवर्धनाय नमः, ओम भजनाय नमः, ओम परब्रह्माय नमः, ओम अघोराय नमः, ओम गौरविक्रमाय नमः, ओम जलामुदाय नमः, ओम जलामालिने नमः, ओम महाजुगाय नमः, ओम महाप्रभुवाय नमः, ओम निर्लक्षाय नमः, ओम सहस्राक्षाय नमः, ओम तुल्यवीक्षाय नमः, ओम प्रतापनाय नमः, ओम महादंशाय नमः, ओम निदाप्रज्ञाय नमः, ओम शतकोटिने नमः, ओम सदाशिवाय नमः, ओम हिरण्यकशिपुदंशिने नमः, ओम दैत्यदानवभञ्जनाय नमः, ओम गुणभद्राय नमः, ओम महाभद्राय नमः, ओम बलभद्राय नमः, ओम सुभद्राय नमः, ओम गरुडाय नमः, ओम जन्नाय नमः, ओम दिगंताय नमः, ओम सर्वकार्तिकाय नमः, ओम शिशुकुमाराय नमः, ओम त्रिलोकात्माय नमः, ओम ईशाय नमः, ओम सर्वेश्वराय नमः, ओम विभुवाय नमः, ओम भैरवंकराय नमः, ओम दिव्याय नमः, ओम अच्युताय नमः, ओम कालिने नमः, ओम माधवाय नमः, ओम अदंसजाय नमः, ओम अक्षराय नमः, ओम सर्वाय नमः, ओम वनमालिने नमः, ओम वरप्रदाय नमः, ओम विश्वम्भराय नमः, ओम अद्भुताय नमः, ओम पापियाय नमः, ओम श्री विष्णवे नमः, ओम पुरुषोत्तमाय नमः। ओम मनोहराय नमः। ओम नमस्काराय नमः। ओम सूर्यज्योतिने नमः। ओम सुरेश्वराय नमः। ओम सर्वस्वभावाय नमः। ओम सर्वज्ञाय नमः। ओम सर्वसिद्धिप्रदायकाय नमः। ओम वज्रदंशाय नमः। ओम वज्रनगाय नमः। ओम महानंदाय नमः। ओम परमभवाय नमः। ओम सर्वमंगलैकरूपाय नमः। ओम सर्वेन्द्रविचारमाय नमः। ओम सर्वतंत्रात्मकाय नमः। ओम अव्यक्ताय नमः। ओम सुव्यक्ताय नमः। ओम भक्तवत्सलाय नमः। ओम ईशाशुक्लप्रदोताय नमः। ओम शरणागतवत्सलाय नमः। ओम उदारकीर्तिने नमः। ओम पुण्यात्माय नमः। ओम महात्माय नमः। ओम चंद्रविक्रमाय नमः। ओम वेदात्मयाय नमः। ओम प्रपंचाय नमः। ओम भगवानाय नमः। ओम परमेश्वराय नमः। ओम श्रीवत्संगाय नमः। ओम जगद्व्यापिने नमः। ओम जगन्मायाय नमः। ओम जगत्पालाय नमः। ओम जगन्नाथाय नमः। ओम महाकाय नमः। ओम दिव्यरूपप्रदाय नमः। ओम परमात्माय नमः। ओम परमज्योतिने नमः। ओम निर्गुणाय नमः। ओम निर्गेशिने नमः। ओम परतत्वाय नमः। ओम परधामाय नमः। ओम सच्चिदानंदविग्रहाय नमः। ओम लक्ष्मीनरसिंहाय नमः। ओम सर्वात्माय नमः। ओम धीराय नमः। ओम प्रहलादपालकाय नमः। ओम उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं जलंधं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं बीजनं पत्रं मृत्युर्नमाम्यहम्। जय नरसिंहा श्री नरसिंहा जय जय श्री नरसिंहदे। प्रहलादेश जय पद्मा मुख पद्मा मृंगा। नमस्ते नरसिंहाय प्रहलादनाथायिने कन्याकाशे पुरुषः श्रीलङ्कानकालये। ॐ नरसिंहा भगवतो नरसिंहा यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंहा। हरे नरसिंहा हृदय नरसिंहा नरसिंहं शरणं प्रपद्ये। सर्वकामहरे नमः। अकुलसिंहा कलिदायकशिरो अनुविद्वारे जगद्धारणरूपा। जय जगदीश हरे। जय जगदीश हरे। जय जगदीश हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। श्री प्रहलाद नरसिंह भगवान की जय। श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की जय। श्री गौर सुंदर की जय। हरि बोल। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।
गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 16. This is the shloka I can read. 21.
Six, Maharaj. 6.
Chapter 16, text 21. You said you want to read the Jaya and Vijaya first by the service.
Oh.
So, Canto 3, Chapter 16, text 21. Yastam vivikta charite anuvartamanam natyadriyat parama bhagavata prasangah satvam dvijanupatha punyarajah punitah Shri Vatsa Lakshmi Kim Agha Bhagavajanastvam. O Lord, translation, O Lord, you are exceedingly attached to the activities of your pure devotees. Yet you are never attached to the goddess of fortune, who constantly engage in your transcendental loving service. How can you be purified, therefore, by the dust of the path traversed by the Brahmanas? And how can you be glorified or made fortunate by the marks of Srivatsa on your chest? Purport. It is said in the Brahma Samhita that the Lord is always served by many hundreds of thousands of goddesses of fortune in his Vaikuntha planet. Yet because of his attitude of renunciation of all opulences, he is not attached to any one of them. The Lord has 6 opulences: unlimited wealth, unlimited fame, unlimited strength, unlimited beauty, unlimited knowledge, and unlimited renunciation. All the demigods and other living entities worship Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, just to get her favor. Yet the Lord is never attached to her because he can create an unlimited number of such goddesses for his transcendental service. The goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, is sometimes envious of the tulasi leaves which are placed at the lotus feet of the Lord, for they remain fixed there and do not move. Whereas Lakshmi, although stationed at the chest of the Lord, sometimes has to please other devotees who pray for her favor. Lakshmi ji sometimes has to go to satisfy her numerous devotees, but tulasi leaves never forsake their position, and the Lord therefore appreciates the service of the tulasi more than the service of Lakshmi. When the Lord says, therefore, that it is due to the causeless mercy of the Brahmanas that Lakshmi ji does not leave him, we can understand that Lakshmi ji is attracted by the opulence of the Lord, not by the Brahmanas' benedictions upon him. The Lord is not dependent on anyone's mercy for his opulence. He is always self-sufficient. The Lord's statement that his opulence is due to the benediction of the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas is only to teach others that they should offer respect to the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, the devotees of the Lord. Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna-prasthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Namane. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So these are statements made by the four Kumaras, and they are statements made by persons who are in knowledge, good knowledge. So the four Kumaras are already liberated. They are already in a transcendental position when they arrive at Vaikuntha. And therefore they have knowledge about transcendence, about the Supreme Lord. So here, when the Lord is saying that I am responsible for what these Dwarapalakas have done, you can punish me if you want. Brahmanas are very dear to me. I don't, bother about anybody else so much. When he is mentioning all these things, the absolute position of the Lord is sort of being relativized. He is bringing himself to a lower position. And he is saying, I'm, just like what you're thinking. I also follow the hierarchy. I also follow the Varnashrama. I am also like this. He is modeling it. At that time, the Kumaras know by their knowledge, you don't have to do this. You don't have to do this. But we know you're doing this for modeling it, so that everybody will respect Brahmanas and Vaishnavas and follow and live peacefully in a society. For that sake, you're doing. Right? So, and they are saying that you're so much attracted to your pure devotees, you will do anything for them. You will, let them control you. And you want to serve them. You want to give yourself to them. So how unique it is that even though Lakshmi is always next to you serving you, you give more attention to the pure devotees of the Lord. This is a very powerful statement here in the Srimad Bhagavatam. That more than Lakshmi, there are devotees who are valuable. So only in the Bhagavatam you'll see these type of statements. Nemam virincho nabhavo nashirapi angasamshayaha prasadam lebhire gopi yattat prapa vimukti dhat. The statement made in the Damodar Leela in Bhagavatam is, Lakshmi, who's sitting on your chest, did not achieve as much favor as Yashoda achieved. Prasadam lebhire gopi. This gopi called Yashoda. Lebhire means profited or got. Labha. Yattat prapa vimukti dad. Not just ordinary mukti. Vimukti, which means prema. That type of blessing and that type of opportunity and that type of reciprocation in Vatsalya Prema that Yashoda Mai got, nobody got. Nobody got. Not even Lakshmi, not even Brahma, not even Shiva. Nemam virincho nabhavo nashi. Similarly here, Lakshmi is constantly serving you. She's always touching your lotus feet and massaging everything. Still, she did not get the same type of favor you give to your pure devotees. And then Prabhupada is making a comment here that Lakshmi is attracted to the opulence of the Lord. Aishwarya Bhava, she is attracted to. Vaikuntha atmosphere is Aishwarya atmosphere, full of opulence, and Lakshmi is situated there, in that particular opulence, Bhava. But the devotees in Vrindavan, where Krishna is, the mood is very different. Actually, this is a contrast between Aishwarya Bhava and Madhurya Bhava. Madhurya means sweetness of Krishna. In Vrindavan, they are very interested in enjoying the sweetness of Krishna's association, the sweetness of his beautiful form, the sweetness of his playing the flute, the sweetness of his leelas. They are great rasagrahis. They go deep down to enjoying the rasa, the taste of association at a very high level with Krishna. What is really valuable, they go for that. They're saragrahis. But in Vaikuntha, they become overcome by Krishna's opulence, his Aishwarya. Viryasya yashashaha sriya jnana vairagyayoschaiva sannam bhagam itangana. As Bhagavan, as God, that opulences in Vaikuntha, they all become enamored by. So Krishna is reciprocating with them in that Aishwarya Bhava. And Lakshmi belongs to that cadre. But even in the atmosphere of Vaikuntha and Goloka, Lakshmi Sahasra Satasambrama Sevyamanam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. There are hundreds and thousands of Lakshmis who are, it is described in the Brahma Samhita, cleaning all the wonderful places there, trying to please the Lord with their service. You see, this is a distinction at a very high level, and we may make mistakes in understanding. One thing is to serve the Lord, and the other thing is to take part in his pastimes, in his Madhurya Rasa, with his Vraja pastime. So it depends on what your taste is. Lord Chaitanya has revealed this highest taste. Unnato Ujjvala Rasa. Unnata Ujjvala Rasa. The top high, very sophisticated taste of Vraja Bhava, of Madhurya Bhava, Madhurya Rasa, is only if you're very sophisticated in your spiritual understanding, in your transcendental taste of service. Only such persons who make that particular type of sacrifice can be in that position. It's very easy for us to understand where we are, because we are what we are. We will stand where we sit. According to how much you have developed that type of Varja Bhakti, you can expect to be like that. So according to how the Kumaras have understood the absolute truth, they are also expressing themselves here. And that is at a different level. Varnashrama level, he is saying that, my Lord, although you sell yourself to the devotees, which is not elaborated much, we know that what we can see is that even though Lakshmi is serving you, there are other devotees who take your attention better. And you are doing these things to model so that others in this world who are not as developed as Lakshmi or as developed in their devotion like the pure devotees to whom you give your entire self, they will all understand that you should respect Brahmanas, you should respect Vaishnavas properly. Very important lesson to learn. The culture of respect is one thing. It is sometimes devotees think that you become prematurely too transcendental. You cannot become too transcendental and think those things are not meant for me. I'm chanting Hare Krishna. I don't follow those things. You don't have to. You give that impression that you don't care much about all these rules and regulations. No. Rules and regulations are very much tied with our Krishna consciousness. We don't follow rules and regulations standalone like smartas do, without understanding why you are following. That is called niyam agraha and niyam agraha. Not following rules and regulations and being too attached to following rules and regulations without understanding what is the purpose. Described in the Nectar of Instruction. Smartas are very good at following rules and regulations without understanding what they are doing. They are just after material sense gratification, karma kandis. They are following rules and regulations in a very strict way so that they'll get very good material burn. They don't understand that the real purpose of rules and regulations is to bring bhakti out of you. Right? So, following of these rules and regulations should not be done isolated from Krishna consciousness. A Vaishnava, a devotee of the Lord, should know that it is good to follow these rules and regulations because they are connected with the Supreme Lord, His order, His Varnashrama Dharma principles. And therefore, I am following that because it pleases the Lord. See? Atapumbir dvijasreshta varnashrama vibhagashaha swanushtitasya dharmasya samsiddhir haritoshanam. Toshanam means to please, to satisfy. Haritoshanam means to please and satisfy Krishna. For the sake of pleasing and satisfying Krishna only, Varnashrama is followed. When you follow Varnashrama like that, that is perfect. When you follow rules and regulations like that, that is perfect. When we do sadhana, we know it pleases Krishna. It pleases Vaishnavas. It pleases my Guru. It pleases Prabhupada that I'm following these things. Right? That is how we get the motivation and the impetus to follow. Now, if you start following only for the sake of following the rules and regulations, you'll lose the taste. It becomes very mechanical. It's becoming impersonalized slowly. So, Krishna, in his form as God, Narayana, Bhagavan, he is being Bhagavan. His opulence is being shown. Aishwaryasya, Viryasya, Yashasya. And you can see the four Kumaras appreciating his Aishwarya and saying, "You're very great." And they are glorifying him for his greatness. Glorifying him for his greatness. Materially, very great. Transcendentally, also very great. Spiritually, very great. But the greatest thing about the Supreme Lord, Krishna, is his private Vrindavan pastime, where you can see his simplicity. Simply wonderful, Prabhupada said. This simple people and explain and externally very simple, but internally very esoteric and high. That rasa of sweetness being tasted by Brajavasis, and Krishna is reciprocating with them. That is real opulence of a very high order. The opulence of Vrindavana is greater than the seeming opulence of Vaikuntha, Aishwarya. Why? Because that opulence is very deeply internal in Braja. It's internal opulence. In Vaikuntha, you can see its transcendental opulence is of a different type. And all are devotees, all are wonderful devotees. That's why I said you have to be careful. These are distinctions at a very different level that's being spoken about. In the Bhagavatam, it's always the Brajavasi mood, the Madhurya Rasa being highlighted. You have to notice that. Everybody makes comments in terms of that. We heard Bhishma Dev saying how the Lord is very attached to the gopis. And he performs leelas with them like this. He appreciates that. But he is saying, I want to see the Lord always like this ashen-colored dust on his face, like a Kshatriya fighting a spirit in the Virya Rasa, everything. That's how I want to remember. That's his taste. That's how he wants to remember. But really, Krishna's opulence and glories and personality come out deeply. And for that, you have to be blessed with Lord Chaitanya's mercy to even appreciate, even get to know it. Special mercy has to be there. So these are all not ordinary subject matters. Sometimes, like say, for instance, the shloka is seen by Sri Vaishnavas. They would feel very different about it. They are all Vaikuntha oriented, So there is a taste, and not that one is inferior to the other. Every aspect is full in itself. It's according to the person's particular inclination, his swarupa, and everything. And these things I mentioned. That's another very exotic subject matter. I don't think I know much about it, so I won't speak about that. But you can see here that everybody appreciates the fact that Krishna and his devotees mean something special. It's very deep. It's very transcendental. It's wonderful. It's like both sides are giving. It's not that one side is giving, other side is taking. Both are giving. Krishna is into giving himself to the gopis. And the gopis are giving whatever is required for making Krishna pleased. So this is a very highly sophisticated interaction and exchange of highest. If you come down like that, Vaikuntha, and then to the higher planets in the material world, see, it becomes, in the material world especially, becomes contaminated with matter, with material intentions. And as we go down and down, all relationships become inferior and inferior from the higher planets and down, because it's all contaminated with material intentions. So sometimes, because we are so much developing relationships on the basis of material intention and for material profit, we will not be able to appreciate this very much, unless to some extent at least we are able to taste some transcendence. That's why by chanting Hare Krishna, you can reverse this and start appreciating, but offenseless chanting. So this particular shloka shows the greatness of God, and it shows the greatness of God not only in terms of his quality of offering himself to be counted amongst the people of the world. And he's even saying, you can punish me. I can cut off my arm also for what my servants have done. In this way, he brings a very, very different type of understanding of the greatness of God for those people who need it like that. He is speaking to these four Kumaras in a manner that's mentioned that he is very expert at speaking. In a manner that they actually become devotees. After seeing the behavior of the Lord, after smelling the tulasi leaves, scent and fragrance, they become devotees. So is inspiring and influencing them to move towards that type of reciprocation with him, devotional reciprocation. So this is a very interesting chapter where he is going ahead and saying, Narayana is going ahead and saying to the Kumaras that when they are asking, how is it that you are acting like this? We're not able to understand you. That you are saying you have done some fault and we are very great as Brahmanas. Something is wrong here. I don't know, we don't understand you properly what you're speaking. They are also very intelligent, and that intelligence is inspired by the Lord from within their heart. And they're conversing with the Lord and saying, there's something wrong. We don't know why you are talking like this to us. With Lakshmi next to you, you're talking this to us. So we don't understand you. Right? So the Lord says, yes, it is true that these people need to be punished for what wrong they have done. Then the Kumaras are coming and saying that we have done wrong by cursing faultless people, is what we understand now. Please excuse us for this. Then the Lord says that all this is actually by my own desire. I have ordained that they will be punished by you. You see, as they reciprocate, Krishna reveals more and more. It's not that right in the beginning itself he's saying that. In the beginning he is, like I said, putting himself as one of the common folk. And then when they reciprocate, say, why do you have to do this? Then he's saying something. Then when they say they like, he's saying something. So it's gradually escalating the real understanding. And it comes to the point of him saying, I have ordained it, that these two people will go down. I will also appear there with them. So if I am going to be there, they are not lost from Vaikuntha. It's not really a curse. If I am going to be them in the material world when they enact their own life, then I am literally leaving Vaikuntha and going with them. So where is the question of saying that they are not in Vaikuntha? It's not a fall down. That's mentioned very nicely. Jaya and Vijaya are going again to please the Lord. They are going, getting a change from being Dwarapalakas. They're giving a different type of service. Please come with me. Fight me. I want to enjoy fighting spirit. So they become Hiranyakashipu, Ravana, Kumbhakarna, Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, and Sushupala and Dandavakara. And all of them become absorbed in the Lord as his enemies. And they give the Lord the pleasure of, uh, you know, fighting with him and being killed by him. In this way, the Lord's desire is satisfied by the Dwarapadas. There's something else going on here. And the Lord is utilizing this whole situation and having his Leela manifested. And there are others in this world who see that Leela and they become devotees. For all these purposes, multi-purposes, with one stroke, the Lord achieves. Right? So, this understanding that we have brought to us by Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada and all great acharyas is something that we can deeply analyze, especially in terms of Lord Chaitanya's instructions. The statement here is Yastam Vivikta Charite Anuvartamanam Natya Driyat Parama Bhagavata Prasangah. Bhagavata means devotees, Prasanga means you're attached. So, two things is mentioned here about him. The Lord himself is saying, I'm very attached to the Brahmanas and I like to respect them. And anything goes wrong against that, I would punish. So these Dwarapalakas, although they are my devotees, what you have done is correct. But the four Kumaras know that, no, what we have done is wrong. Because we know how exalted your devotees are. And we have gone ahead and cursed them. I hope we don't earn your wrath. And the Lord is saying, no, don't worry. It was my plan. Whatever you have executed is my plan. So that is very revealing. Now, sometimes people say that this is a shortcut answer to every type of question which we cannot answer. That's the Lord's plan. That's the way the Lord wants it. Lord wants it. Yes, the Lord is a supreme individual personality. And it is our duty to cater to his plan and desire. That's the meaning of a conditioned soul. That's the meaning of part and parcel. You cannot become the Lord. This tendency you will find everywhere inside the material world. Even in the devotee atmosphere of sadhakas, you can see the tendency to imitate the authority, want the authority's position, and work on a different plan from the authority. That is very common in this world. In fact, every one of us is come here for that plan. Right? Krishna consciousness means not enforcing that type of a plan, our own plan, on top of Krishna's plan. Krishna consciousness means following the plan of the Lord and setting aside your own plan. Now, this is very difficult to do. This is very difficult to do for most people. It's almost impossible to do. But you may look like you are doing it. You can, cover up everything and make it look like you're doing it. but actually your intention is not to do it. It is as clear as that. So sometimes the desire, because it's not so easy to remove our material desire just like that overnight, traces of it also will remain, even amongst very big devotees. So we have to learn to see things properly. So material desire and our foundational desire to be like God, like Krishna, and make our own empire, our own separatist group where I can enjoy this rasa of being the Lord. All this is commonplace in the material world. Nobody can deny it. That's why there's constant competition, there is envy, greed, lust. There are so many things happening. But if you're cultured a little bit in Krishna consciousness, cultured in the Vedic texts, if you're educated and you know, you can keep this under control and focus on Krishna consciousness. This is the best you can do. You can't prematurely assign yourself a position of enlightened situation without actually going through it and going through the necessary purification. So here the question is, why is it that you need to be purified? When you are the supreme pure, Sattam Vishuddham, what is it? Suddham Apapa Vidham. Isopanishad speaks about it. Kavir Manishi Paribhu. In that shloka, that the Lord is never afflicted by anything. He doesn't need anybody. He doesn't need to be compared with anybody. That is relativizing everything in the world. So the Lord is supremely independent. Abhijñah Swarat, fully cognizant, and is supremely independent. And he does not require anybody, not even Lakshmi, it is mentioned here. It doesn't require anybody. He can manifest tens of thousands of Lakshmis on his own. So if at all Lakshmi is there because of his mercy that he's allowing her to do service, and he's accepting that service. So we constantly derive the mercy of the Lord. Only then we can be in proper understanding and consciousness. We can never think at any time that I am good, I am on my own doing these things, I don't need anybody. That is a tendency. The more you think like that, the more Krishna consciousness becomes disturbed. You can see. After some experience, we understand that more we direct it and remain locked up in connection with Krishna, the better it is. The better it is. So you'll see various instances in Lord Krishna's Leelas of how his appearance, yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata, is mainly meant for the sake of his devotees who are trying to make progress. He comes, relates with them, performs Leelas with them, and ups them in their surrender, in their love for Krishna. And in this way, he becomes dear to them. But this is, like I mentioned, very rare that people opt for selfless devotion to Krishna. Most people in this world are interested, definitely, in enjoying some amount of material position. And therefore, there'll be a mix of these things together. Here you have the Kumaras who are not having that level of bhakti, but who are self-realized, coming, and Krishna is escalating them to the position of devotion, right? So we should not prematurely think that we are already devotees because we chant Hare Krishna. No, we are chanting Hare Krishna to become devotees more and more. We have to have the subtle distinctions between our thinking. It is not that just by becoming a sadhaka, you have already become, perfect. Sadhaka means you are following for the sake of becoming perfect in Krishna consciousness. So not only should we accommodate this understanding, but should also accommodate other people in various levels of progress and facilitating all of them to progress. This pleases Krishna. This pleases Krishna. So the high idealistic philosophy of Krishna consciousness is not really so impossible because it is very personalistic philosophy. And Krishna's personal dealings, he opens to anybody, any spirit soul who wants to relate with me. So what I see is everything is available and everything is given by Krishna. All facilities, his blessings and everything for us to try to reach that. But we are not doing it by our own choice. We just get stuck in something, something, something. And we start developing attachment for it. Right? And we may lose the real goal. The real goal, like the gopis are situated in, the gopas are situated in, is to achieve pure prema for Krishna. So in the Bhagavatam, you will see these stories, and the culmination is in the 10th canto. At various levels, you will see various devotees making progress, and all of them are related. Here is a story of the Brahmavadis, Brahman situated four Kumaras, becoming devotees by associating with the Lord Himself directly. This is the instance we can see. Similarly, we can see instances of persons who have no devotion for Krishna becoming devotees. We can see demons becoming devotees, like Bali Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, and all of them. They're all born in demoniac families, but they become devotees. So, the yoga ladder, the Bhakti Yoga ladder is what is being explained in the Bhagavad Gita, that we can find ourselves in various places in the ladder according to our position. And we should move from there, from that area to higher levels, and we should measure our change. We should be conscious of what's happening to us in terms of our devotional service. So these are some of the interesting points that we can gather from the shloka. Om Tat Sat. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.